It opens in cinemas on September the 27th. I was lucky enough to see it this morning, and just seeing the trailer again, my heart is absolutely pounding. I can't wait to talk to them about it. Please welcome director of the film, Denis Villeneuve, and the stars of the film, Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Gentlemen,
Very cool.
welcome.
Thank
Feel
you.
slightly
Thanks,
underdressed,
Edith.
but thank you. Denny, can we start with you, please? Congratulations on the film. I was lucky enough to see it this morning. What was the attraction for you initially with this project?
It's very simple. Basically, it's just that it's the screenplay is two things in the same time. It's a strong thriller, but at the same time, it is a strong drama as well. It says meaningful things about our North American society today, and I thought it was like it was a very sadly very inspiring story, and an opportunity to work with great actors as well. So.
Well, I guess the best stories are the ones that are closest to reality, really, aren't they? Closest
Yeah,
to
we really made our homeworks and tried to make it as with humility as realistic as possible. Yeah.
Let's talk about the two gentlemen next to your cast. Obviously, you'd worked with Jake before on your previous film. Anyway, was that this kind of came up halfway through filming? Was that right? The idea for this film, or?
Jake owed me money. Jake
doesn't even remember my name.
By the fourth movie, you'll have it down.
Yeah.
Joe is a great actor.
No, we had a lot of fun, as you can see, and we decided to go on with Prisoners. Yeah.
Halfway through the previous film, though, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the way it normally works for you as the director? You already have that next project kind of there in your head as your...
No, it was just both movies were greenlit in a week apart, so I had to shoot them one after the other. It was a bit intense, but at the same time, it was I learned a lot by doing this. Because I could afford to make mistake in the first one.
Well, that tension shows on screen as well. It's incredible. I guess was it a no-brainer for you, Jake, in terms of working again with
Yeah, I mean, working with Tom and Tim.
Thanks, Steve.
Just a regular Joe like me. It was an easy choice. Yeah, it was. I mean, working with Denis on An Enemy, and then knowing Hugh was already playing the role, and then having read the script, it was incredibly easy. Knowing that the way Denis made movies and what he wanted to bring out of the story that we were in the process of telling, and then as we discussed it, and what he wanted to bring out in this movie, which I think has many thriller aspects to it and a lot of genre aspects to it, but in the hands of a wrong type of filmmaker could really go a different way. In his hands and everything he wanted to do with it and what he believed in, I believed in too, and it was so easy to say yes. And then he just turned out to be better than everybody knows him publicly. He's like just a wonderful guy in every way and an extraordinary actor to work with. So that was a no-brainer too.
Is it quite a collaborative process, the way that you work, Denny, in terms of your actors? I mean, Jake, your character in particular, Detective Loki, who you don't really know that much about, and I imagine that there's conversations between you guys in terms of who he was, and how he got to where he is, and where we find him in the story.
Well, no, there's no collaboration. He's a dictator, there's total collaboration. I mean, there was a big discussion about Loki really being a narrator of sorts, and that he needed his own story. And we talked, because it was never explained, we decided that was a very interesting thing, and that we would use that as opposed to try and fight it. And what we ended up doing was creating an entire backstory, the two of us, and then putting little hints on the character and around the character, and then all of those little hints are all over the story for the audience.
Yeah. And is it a I don't know, is it a scary thing for an actor? You two haven't worked together before prior to this, and it's an intense relationship on screen. Is that a scary prospect going into that, knowing that it's going to work as well as this did?
There's always, I think, a leap of faith with acting, that it starts with the director. You make sure that you have the right director. And I had read the script about a year before I signed on to it, and I always loved it and was waiting for them to come up with the right director. And when Denis signed on, I think all of us felt the same. It was a no-brainer because I diverge a little bit. The movie is part Hollywood thriller, whodunit, edge of your seat kind of, heart sort of pumping movie. And the other half of it is one that makes you really think and contemplate and actually makes you do a little bit of work as an audience. And it's not often in Hollywood you get those things put in together. And I think as we saw in America last weekend, people want a movie like that and they enjoy that. And it wasn't until Denis came on board did I say yes to that. But with acting, what a lot of people don't know about acting is people think, oh, you did your performance or what's it like for you? You really are only as good as the actor opposite you. It's very much like a dance. Imagine a dancer with a terrible dance partner. You could be Fred Astaire. You got a terrible dance partner, and no one's going to really know anything. It's not going to lift. So, Denis really cast this with an amazing embarrassment of riches in terms of cast. And working with Jake was phenomenal because, he's a nightmare, like as a person, but as an actor.
I'm so glad.
I feel like it's my conscience right now.
No, but it's so nice that you say that publicly at last.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a relief.
No, because there's only
You
500
really, if you
there's
really
only
wanna-
500 million
Yeah,
people
500
watching
million
this.
is fine, yeah.
It's the time. No,
really want to feel good about yourself, come to the Apple Store and be sandwiched between two people who dislike you in front of 500 million people.
completely the opposite. It was honestly fantastic. And as you said, we have intense scenes, but only 4 scenes together. They're very important, pivotal moments in the story, and so neither of us, we didn't leave that, and with Denis, we didn't leave any of those scenes until we were all really happy.
You say it's only 4, but it's weird. When I was watching it this morning, you are always thinking about the other guy whilst the other guy's in the scene. When it's, you, Jake, you're thinking about kind of what's Hugh, where is he in relation to what you're doing. You also mentioned the cast, which is just, everyone else who isn't here as part of this cast, incredible.
They are here. They're just buying iPhones out there.
They'll be joining us in a second.
Terrence has said he got a half-price thing on the new one.
Terrence is flying on an iPhone right now.
Whilst they're working out whether it's an S or a C, let's have a look at a clip which involves you, Jake, and Paul Dano's character as well. This is an intense interrogation.
Such a good scene. I love it.
Such a good scene. Can you both talk me through that scene, just kind of briefly, in terms of the entire thing scripted, where how kind of on the mark was it in terms of words?
The truth is, it was a room in studio, and I put a camera there. And with those new digital camera, you can run for 20 minutes. So I put the camera there. I locked the door and say, "Guys, let's do it." They just improvised basically all the scene.
No.
There was like beats of I think the scene was like maybe 2 sentences or something, and Jake did his homeworks, and this is my favorite part about my job is when the actors are. Put themselves in danger and just go for it. And it was the same about the scenes we were talking about. When the first time I put those... sorry, I'm changing subject. Go, you have something to
I had watched an interrogation. I'd watched hundreds of hours of interrogation footage of different police officers, detectives and police officers interrogating suspects. And one of them that I watched for 5 hours, I remember that the movement in the room started from them across from each other, a table, as we see in all of those, shows and movies and stuff. And then as time went on, over hours and hours, somehow, without even noticing, if you scrolled through, you could see even, because I want to try to figure out how I couldn't even see the detective move up and get the suspect into the corner. But he got him sort of slowly into the corner by sort of befriending him. And by the end, he was standing up in the corner. His hands were on either side of the suspect's face. And he was like lightly touching his face. And you could feel this guy and all the pressure of the hours of questioning on him. And I said to Denis, I came to him, I would come to him very annoyingly at times during the shoot. And I would say, like, "Oh, I just saw this thing, and like, it would be so cool if we did it like this." And he'd be like, "You'll have your time, And sure enough, he did. And that's how that scene came up. And Roger Deakins, who's so brilliant, a cinematographer, when we had said, "Oh, maybe we'll be stand up and we'll be in the corner," he loved the idea because it was so abnormal from what you see in that kind of interrogation. And I start touching Paul's ear, you know, and he didn't like it. And then I started sort of touching his face in a strange way. And
Paul doesn't like Jake at all.
Yeah, no,
It's worse.
yeah, and he was so strange as a character. But you know, Denis let that happen all the time. There was a free spirit, and that was the first thing that Hugh and I ever did together, was completely improv. And I think it maybe even surprised Denis, at least what I've heard him say, is that both of us are sort of similar animals in how we approach our improvisation and our scenes. And we just started playing in this way, and he was like, "Oh no." And we had to redo Maria Bello's coverage because we had improv so much and we shot her coverage first that it didn't match with what we had done. Right?
The thing is, when I put you both in the first time together in front of the camera, Roger Deakins and I, we were shooting all the movie with one camera. We are a bit old-fashioned style, but we like to concentrate on one point of view and just to maximize this point of view. This is the way I love to make cinema. But working with you both, after that first scene, I realized I was making a mistake, because those impros were so strong that I wanted to have the ability to use them in the movie. So what I did for the other scenes is I was working with two cameras, so I had the ability to edit after the scene, and that gave me in the editing room some of the strongest moments in the film, like for instance the car scene. So it's things that.
That's a director improvising too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
also. It's
right. We've got a clip of you guys together. It's not the car scene, but this is an example of you guys together on screen. And then we'll get some questions from you guys, so get thinking of your questions.
Well,
But so good.
this was a censored version because there's a word that I cannot pronounce.
Yeah.
That was there. That where we feel the anger, and we didn't feel the anger on that clip.
We got some questions from you guys, hopefully. So there we go. Yes, straight in there. Let's start over on that corner there.
I have a question to Jake. Will you marry me?
Come on, we've got limited time.
No, actually, my question
I asked
is.
first.
Do you have a
I play the older
question?
brother role
Yeah.
here in Jake's life. So come to me, talk to me, tell me who you are, what's going on. I'll see if I can set up a meeting. All right?
Sure, he's going to have to vet you first.
I do all the talking in this scene.
I was going to say yes.
Okay, my question is both to Hugh and Jack. Would you like to play someone who's not a good guy, someone bad or negative, who, for example, could steal that girls?
I missed the last bit. Who could what?
Girls.
You could steal girls.
Oh, like
the
right,
yeah.
I see. I don't have any rules about types of parts or good or bad. I don't even like to look at characters as good or bad. You know, most actors, I'll tell you, love the idea of playing a classic villain because generally they're the most colourful and fun to play. And also actors like to, you know, you've got to understand it's sort of, acting is sort of like traveling. It's pretend. So you like to go away from yourself, you know, play something different. Not that I necessarily want to be someone who kidnaps girls, but you know what I'm trying to say.
When you see this movie, you'll see that he's not a totally good guy. You know, I mean, I think that what's so cool about someone like, I'm going to say it, Mr. Jackman.
That's a first.
That's the second time today. Actually, I'm upsetting myself. But what's so cool about him is that, given his position, you know, he can make any movie get made, really. And he chose a movie like this, which, when you see the movie, you'll see that it's great courage when you play someone who is, in many of his movies, such a strong, heroic type. In this case, the idea of the hero is turned on its end, and it's really much more complicated than that. And the places he goes as a human being and as an actor is unlike I've ever seen him in the movies that I've watched of his, ever seen him do. And it's so great because in a business where people in his position are afraid to do those things, he's not, and it really paid off. Like, I mean, you know, I think people, particularly in the States, like, loved the movie this weekend, and a lot of people came out to see it, and his work is extraordinary. And so the answer to that question is he's already sort of doing it a little bit in this movie, and you got to go check it
You'll
out.
be surprised.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe.
We've got a girl
Thanks, Joe. I love it.
Lady over here with a question, please.
Yeah, hello. My question is for Dennis. Yeah, forgive the French accent. I was just wondering, when you chose the script, were you not scared that it would be a big challenge not to make it look a bit like the Lovely Bones, you know, the movie where they kidnap the girl and everything? Was it not too challenging for you? I know the script is very different, but still.
The thing is, to make a movie today, it's always a big challenge because there's some movies that have been made before. I'm just saying that the key is to try to find a kind of authenticity and to work always with a lot of honesty about what you in relationship with the screenplay. The screenplay, by the way, is quite original. I think that the premise, when you read on paper, is just the first minutes of the movie. For me, it's not a movie about kidnapping. It's a much more sad and powerful topic than I mean, there's nothing more horrific than child missing. I understand, but what I was interested in me in that project is that it explore the impact of that violence on the families, and that is it has not been seen before, I think, in cinema.
Next question. Yeah, go for it. Gentleman right here.
Hi, Hugh. I think you're a fantastic actor, by the way. But I was wondering, what was it about the script and Denis directing that really appealed you to doing this film?
I've been in 6 X-Men movies alone, but Van Helsing. I've been in a number of movies that have had action elements, that have had almost more classic heroic kind of characters and archetypes. And what I love about this movie and what Denis was able to bring out of it was the grey areas, the violence or the action, I suppose, which is celebrated in movies like X-Men. I mean, we go for that and we cheer. Yeah, I've been to cinemas, people cheer it and clap. In this, it's almost like, in reality, when you see your first fight, it's uncomfortable. And for the reason I wanted to work with someone like Denis, when you're playing a character that has so much, desperation and devastation and rawness to it, as an actor, you want to be in the hands of a man with great taste, who understands the language, in that we are making a thriller, so we have to keep certain story elements in there, but at the same time we want to make this a film that moves people, that makes them think long beyond the credits. And when you're, as an actor, and Jake will feel the same, it's not our medium, it's a director's medium, so you have to be trusting in giving over your performance, and when you're going to dig as deep as you possibly know how, you want to do that with a director that you trust. And beyond that, I'm going to give you a little story. There's a scene in this movie, you haven't seen it, there's a scene in this movie where I thought we'd gone about as far as I could go. And I was exhausted, and Denis came up to me, and I'll be honest, I really thought we'd got it, and I thought he was coming up to me to say thank you. Thank you, my friend. I loved it deeply, deeply. Denis, after every take, says, I love it, love it, love it, love it.
Love it, love it, love it.
If he says it 7 times, it's genuinely loves it. If he says it 3 times, you're about to get fired. So he goes, you, I love it, love it, love it. But he said, I really need you to go there. I need you to go there. And all I kept thinking in my head was like, that wasn't there. Oh, boy. But I love the courage and trust that Denis had in me and all the cast to let us fly and also know when to push us. That's a long answer. But honestly, Jake and I could talk for a half hour. I've worked with some great filmmakers.
10
Chris
minutes
Nolan.
for me. 10 minutes for me. 10, like a good
But
10 minutes.
he's a genuine master filmmaker and has got many, many more movies to make.
Love it, love that.
Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Last question, I'm afraid. Girl, lady right in the middle. Can we just throw a microphone her way, or you can shout? There we go. There we go. I probably should have picked one close to the microphone, sorry.
Hi, this is directed at Hugh and Jack, really. As you say, you kept having to push yourself further. Did you take inspiration from any characters in real life or any actors that have played any roles vaguely similar?
We did a lot of research into real life situations.
Hugh and Jake, sorry.
That's all right. He's getting used
I
to it.
thought you were French too. I didn't have
So sorry, a
Good
little
Jake.
bit nervous.
That's also Hugh Hugh and Jackman. I'll take that too. I can take it. I'll take it. I'll take whatever you want to give me. Totally fine.
You should change your name.
I know.
Yeah.
Jackman Gyllenhaal.
Jake.
Yeah, let's do this.
The real situations
Joe
are
Gyllenhaal.
just so devastating and real, and left me with a real sense of responsibility beyond just information, and that was with us all every day. And I would share that with the cast. I'd share it with Denis. But one little thing, I'll be honest, I don't mind saying where I nick ideas from. There's a film called Mystic River that Sean Penn, he won the Oscar for that, didn't he? Yeah. Do you remember the scene in that where he has about 12 cops holding him back because he's going to find, he's been told his daughter's in the woods, and he comes out and they won't let him past a certain point because it's a crime scene? And he turned up on set. This is the way the story goes. I haven't asked him, but the story goes that he turned up on set and Clint Eastwood, the director, had 3 cops hired, extras, to hold him back. And Sean said, you got 3 cops to hold me back? And he said, yeah. He goes, you're going to need more cops. And he did one take, and there are 12 cops there, and they're barely holding him back. And I never forget the image of the anguished father, desperate, grieving, all at once. And it took all might of these 12 extras, who I'm sure were like trying to hold Sean Penn back. And that was something that stuck in my head as an example.
Well, I'm afraid
Jack?
we are. If
Joe?
you want to answer that, Jake,
Come on, man.
before we wrap up.
Tim, I think you said it really well.
I can briefly answer for him by complimenting him that he's not single right now, so you just have to be patient. Also, that... Sorry, did I overstep
It's all
a line
good,
there?
it's
It's only
all good.
500 million people.
Yeah, it's not a
all
big deal.
all right.
It's
They have to
fine.
know.
Yeah.
You are wearing the stupidest microphone on your face.
I know.
I just want you to know. You look ridiculous with that microphone on.
I know.
Who gave you that microphone?
I know. He plays a cop in this unlike any I've seen in film. I don't think I've ever seen, particularly in a thriller, I don't see a cop that not only gets you through the story and introduces and gives you all the story points you need, but actually makes you genuinely feel. I think he anchors the movie, and it's. I don't think there's anything. I'm going to save you answering that because I can't think of anything or any other actor who's inhabited a role like that as well as he does.
There we go. And on that lovely note,
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
27th of September, it's in cinemas. Go see it. It's incredible. My heart is still pounding from watching it this
Sorry
morning.
about it.
It's great. Thank you so much,
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
And
much.
thank you for translating.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Denny,
Thank you so
Jake.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you.
Bye.
Thanks, Edith.